I'm Yuri.
I'm Jakub.
And we're going for a drive. 2019 Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon.
It's actually the G550
Then why do they call it the G-Wagon?
because it's called the Gelandewagen.
What does that mean?
Vehicle of some sort of crossing, something.
Cross-country vehicle.
Cross-country vehicle, there you go.
So it's spelled G-Wagon with an E.
That's right, the German spelling.
Yeah. Horsepower and torque.
416 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque.
What kind of big motor do we have?
We got a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, which is found pretty much in every single Mercedes these days.
And what's the motor in the AMG 63 G-Wagon?
They are also 4-liter twin-turbo V8s, but they're different, and those are hand-built.
Interesting.
We do not have the AMG today.
So let's get to the good stuff. It is newly redesigned for 2019.
Yeah.
They teamed up with the Jeep and made sure both redesigns had the circle headlights on the same year. Good job, guys.
I don't think they did, but it just kind of worked out that way. And if you looked at it from the outside and you looked at the previous G-Wagon, you probably couldn't really tell the difference. But if you looked at the headlights, that's the biggest telltale.
Another big change for this year is we've got the cool infotainment inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of big changes.
So I want to start with the infotainment since I'm driving.
All right, take it away.
We've got the big screen that goes all the way across. Look how big my Apple CarPlay is. My Google Maps is gigantic.
And it has Android Auto as well.
Yeah. We have rewinding satellite radio finally. We can do 10 stations and we have tune mix. So you put smart favorites on the stations you like, make a tune mix of all the stations you like as well, and then it'll automatically skip through all your good stations, play the songs you like, and you can rewind all the time. This is the sweet spot of Mercedes-Benz inside, and it doesn't have a trackpad. Then we also have the progressive, sport, and regular displays.
Yeah, on the other gauge, your main gauge is awesome. This is, like you said, the sweet spot for Mercedes. I don't like the new ones in the A-Class as much as I did these ones.
I love that there's a sweet spot and it's old stuff.
It's so funny because they have the old stuff, then the mid stuff, and then the new stuff.
And as a quick reminder, this is not a touchscreen.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so the old G-Wagon had like the C-Class style stuff. The stuff we have in the GLC 63 right now.
That's right.
Blech.
Watch that video.
In the future. Another cool thing with this infotainment is we do have favorites that we never end up using in Mercedes, but I started using them. I put some satellite radio tune mixes in there for Yuri and Jakub. We've labeled this the Yuri Wagon, Yuri seat.
Why is it
Yuri
labeled
massage.
the Yuri Wagon?
This is the Yuri Wagon. I like this more than you like it.
That's false.
We've got neons. Anyways, all this stuff is great. Do you have anything else to add to it?
No, I don't care about the infotainment at all.
It's awesome. That's the best reason to get this.
It's not. Look at this thing. It is a G-Wagon. It is unmistakably a G-Wagon from the outside, and that is the best part, and that is why you buy a G-Wagon, for the image of this thing.
Yeah, the image is so good. Everybody loves it. My wife loves it.
Impressive.
When we went to California, everyone in LA was driving one.
Yeah, this is basically the Corolla of California.
Is this kind of like a soccer mom SUV?
Well, it's kind of turned into one.
So people don't really off-road this, but it is very capable.
Extremely capable.
Personally, I've just kept it in comfort. I didn't even use sport mode like pretty much the whole time I've been driving it.
I did.
This thing is so comfy. Like, it's such an easy vehicle to drive.
It is surprisingly comfortable. I expected this to ride like crap, but I guess they updated a lot in 2019, and this rides really well. It's so comfortable, like you said.
We do have Eco, Individual, and Sport.
And then we also have G mode, which is all new for 2019.
But that automatically turns on when it feels like it needs it if you're in the
low range gearbox mode, which also enables you to lock all 3 differentials, a rear, a front, and a center. This is the most capable SUV in the world because of that.
I'm sure other SUVs are just as capable.
They're not. This is literally the most capable SUV ever.
Yo, Mercedes, we need a G-Wagon driving adventure.
They actually have a course for this.
Yeah, hook it up. So this does have adaptive suspension.
Yes, this is an option on this one.
But does it get that much stiffer?
Not really.
No, and then we don't have a valved exhaust.
No, we don't.
We don't get crazy pop-pops. I think it's the right amount of pop-pops for someone who's got to like live their daily life.
For not being an AMG, I do agree. The pop-pops are very, very good. It's so deep and growly. It's perfect for what this is. And what I noticed about the exhaust, since we're on that, it is still side pipes. So if you didn't know, G-Wagons do have side pipes, but they're right at the bottom and you can't really see them unless you look underneath.
But the 63 does have like double exhaust coming out the sides.
Exactly.
And then you can also see the exhaust pipe through the wheel arch.
Yeah. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, did they just, yeah, they did that.
So the most striking part is definitely the paint color.
Yes, it's Designo Magno Night Black.
So matte black.
Yeah.
It looks so good. And this doesn't have the night package on it.
No, it does not.
So you can black out a bunch more stuff, but this one you actually have chrome strips or brushed steel strips or some kind of shiny metal strips on the side and on the grille.
Yeah, and classic G-Wagon fashion, you can also add a push bar in chrome or black as well.
I like the way this looks the way it is. With the right amount of chrome, like I think I like this more than the blacked out version. I think Mercedes is the only company to nail chrome or shiny metal on every car all the time.
I also agree with that. However, if I was to get the G63, I would delete all the chrome. On this one, I want chrome for some reason.
Do you like the G63 looks more than this?
Absolutely.
I actually kind of like the front bumper stuff more on this.
If I was in a position to buy either of these two cars, which I'm not, I would definitely go for the G63 because it's so much more pointless, but so much better.
I like this. It's more classic G-Wagon.
It's definitely more classic, but G63 or G65
Not
even
yet,
more.
not yet.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and another thing that the AMG gets is way nicer wheels. I'm not a big fan of these wheels.
On the contrary, I do really like the wheels. We've got cool fender flares like all G-Wagons do.
Yeah, they're massive. They look awesome.
And we've got door sills that we can stand on.
Side steps?
Side steps, that's what I meant. Door
You don't
sills.
stand on a door sill.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking.
Whatever.
The trunk doesn't open up, it opens up to the side just like all the other G-Wagons.
Yeah, and then you got your spare tire on the back.
And you can see the wheel through the rear view mirror, which is kind of cool.
It is hilarious.
Now let's get to the best part about this car's exterior and doors and looks.
What's that?
How hard you need to close the door and the sound that it makes.
I do agree. That is the best part of this whole car, is that sound.
And you really got to give it some when you close it. Like, who lets you smash their Mercedes door closed?
Nobody except Mercedes with the G-Wagon.
It's unreal.
Other Mercedes have like soft close and stuff like that. This, nah, slam it!
And when you get in the car and start driving or you lock the car, the sound it makes when the doors lock,
Shotgun.
my goodness.
Sounds like a shotgun. And the coolest part is that you actually have to press in the keyhole to be able to open the door.
And on that note, I wish it had like proximity touch because it's a pain to get my hand into my pocket, unlock it, but whatever.
If you want proximity in this car, you don't understand the G-Wagon.
I have one more complaint about the driving experience, but I'll touch on that when you're driving.
All right.
But first, word from our sponsor.
Vincero Watches. They are having their New Year's sale. This is the last sale of the year.
I'm rocking my gold one for the G-Wagon.
I got my Rogue, which is definitely my favorite Vincero watch by far. I think this fits the car very well.
More than this?
I think so.
Yo, leave a comment below.
Yeah, let us know which one.
Gold or Rogue?
So check out the link below. The last sale of the year, vincerowatches.com/straightpipesny sale. Biggest sale.
Get somebody a watch as a gift.
Do it. Now I drive. All right, Yuri. And one more. Best. Speaking of door noises, Mercedes actually collabed with the Remix project and they made beats out of the sounds that this car makes.
Pretty cool. I think they should have made it more like that old And One commercial where everything was a sound that was actually happening on video at the same time.
That's copyrighted, so we can't actually show you guys what the sounds sound like, but just go to the link in the description. So in predictable fashion, I will put it into sport mode and go for ascend. And there's so much torque in this thing. It thrusts you way more than you think it would because of the size of this thing and
Yeah.
the weight.
Even though it's not the AMG, it's still super fast.
Yeah, so in case you guys wanted a number, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.9 seconds, which is very respectable for something of this size.
For a tank.
Yeah, pretty much. And we do have a 9-speed transmission, and it is buttery smooth. It's not a dual clutch or a multi-clutch or whatever Mercedes has these days. It's just a regular old auto, and it shifts very smoothly.
And in predictable fashion, let's do cliche corner.
Might as well do that next. Downshift and go for a tank send. The traction control kicks in because it thinks I'm gonna tip over. It's still really controllable for what it is. I mean, you'd think it would be worse. It handles 1,000 times better than a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, I love it. I have no problem. And then we've got the dynamic bolsters in the seat, so it really pushes you the opposite direction of where you're turning.
Yes, very noticeable. So the car drives really well. It's really soft on the road. Let's talk about this interior.
Love it.
It's just such an improvement from the old one. This is like all new Mercedes stuff. Now, talking about this transmission, I have to talk about these cheap paddles. I am so disappointed by these plastic paddles because Mercedes always has the nicest metal paddles.
Well, that is true. They are nicer than anything out of Audi so far.
Yes, even though they are plastic, they are better than Audi paddles. But Mercedes' caliber of paddles is always top notch.
Not gonna argue that, but we do have a nice steering wheel.
Steering wheel's great, no issues with that.
It's like the S-Class. I feel like everything's getting the S-Class steering wheel.
That's exactly what's
A-Class,
happening.
Here
Yes.
you go, whatever.
Yeah. And then we have a bunch of buttons on the steering wheel to control our infotainment systems. And then we also have adaptive cruise, We also have lane keep assist, but it's only a partial assist.
So there is steering assist. That's the stuff we really like. You let go of your hands, it'll keep you going through lanes. You can't get that on a G-Wagon.
This only has lane departure assist.
That's the most disappointing thing is I love driving with the no hand stuff, and this just won't let you. Back to the parking. So it can park itself, but the funny thing is it doesn't back into spots for you. It'll only go forward into spots and then back you up properly. But it does back you up when you're doing parallel parking, and it's very good. Gets you right in there, and with those big tires, you don't have to worry about scratching your rims as much.
And this actually has really good visibility because the windows are so big. So parking this thing, driving around, it's so easy. And shout out Mercedes for giving us a backup camera and a 360 camera at the same time.
Yes, and the backup camera has a little thing that pops up and it's nice and low.
That's pretty cool.
While on one of my nightly runs through Cliche Corner, I discovered that this has the best automatic high beams I've ever used. If I move the stock forward, the lights come on with a dazzle as long as I'm going approximately 30 kilometers per hour or more. It is absolutely amazing.
A couple more infotainment things I wanted to mention that I really liked. When we push the climate button, we do have a cool graphic that zooms out from the front seats to the back seats.
That is really cool.
You mentioned that when we're on our home screen, it does get a little laggy here and there, which I do admit.
Thank you for reminding me. So if you skip more than one menu setting at a time, it's fairly laggy.
We do have our horsepower and torque, actually called engine data. And the final infotainment thing that I'll talk about today, if we click on our Yuri wagon tag, we get all these cool off-roading options with our location, our angle, all kinds of cool stuff.
That is super cool.
And if we're going slow enough, it lets us put on the front camera.
That is really nice.
My favorite thing is that we can get such nice seats in such a cool looking SUV.
And my favorite part of the seats is the headrest. It's so nice and soft. It's almost S-Class soft.
The only thing is you can't push it forward enough to really like use it too much.
I'd be fine like this.
So we do have massage seats, heated seats, cooled seats, but the driver can't control the passenger seat like in other Mercedes.
Yeah, that's right. I did notice that.
But we do not have a heated center armrest like we do in other Mercedes as well.
But what we do have is this cool take on not carbon fiber, but sort of simulating somewhat related to carbon fiber.
Yeah, it looks fake enough carbon fiber to not be mistaken for carbon fiber that isn't real.
Exactly, because they also do offer real carbon. I'm not sure if they offer it on this one, but you can definitely get it on the AMGs.
Oh, you know what I really like about this one?
What's that?
Sunroof.
Yeah, but not a big pano roof.
Yeah, because, you know, it's not that kind of truck.
See, so you do get it.
If they made a Land Rover style of this, that would be cool.
Speaking of, let's talk about competition for this thing. There pretty much is nothing.
Rubicon, kind of?
Well, exactly. What's the price of that?
A lot less.
Exactly. So off-road capability is probably very similar, but in terms of competition, there's nothing really that competitive. The Range Rovers, Land Rovers, Toyota Land Cruiser, Lexus LX570, that's pretty much it. And they're not really bought for their image.
Kind of, you gotta get G-Wagon, gotta get G-Wagon.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But in defense of the Jeep, you can't take these doors off easily.
That's very true, actually.
So, I mean, they got that going for them.
Yes, and the windshield and all that.
Yeah.
And the back.
Back to the interior.
Visor test!
I haven't tried this yet. I had the sun in my eyes, but I suffered through it.
Tight visor.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, Mercedes. 2019, get with it.
Box test. 16, 17, 18 boxes. Oh, that sounds good.
Wow, that was really good at storing boxes considering the shape of this.
It's like built for it.
Yeah, exactly. Small cup of coffee.
Fits perfectly. The interior lights.
The interior lighting is on par with the S-Class.
Yeah, maybe not as nice as the E400. I think that was a special little thing to me.
Just the way that it
The
enveloped
wave, yeah.
you. Yeah.
The E-Class Wave is a little nicer, but this has nice bright lights. You get all the variations that you want.
I got my red moon.
It's perfect. And back seat room. I can sit comfortably behind you. It's not as good as I think the GLC 63.
Yeah, surprisingly. I don't understand why, but that is what it is.
Yeah, whatever. Your passengers are gonna have a great time in the back of this thing. And we got blue trim interior.
Right, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, so this one's spec'd really uniquely. I like it.
Yeah, I have seen pictures of like all white interiors on G-Wagons. I think that would be fun as well.
That would be the most gangster thing you could possibly do.
I think tan on the 4x4 square lime green is the most gangster thing.
I think white on white would be the most gangster thing ever.
Well, there's that picture of Drake in one, and I kind of just want to like recreate that for myself.
Oh, yeah.
if I was Drake.
Yeah.
Why do you think I got this haircut?
Oh, yeah, because you think you're Drake.
For my Drake photo.
And if you buy this SUV, you may care about towing 7,700 pounds. Very respectable.
Sound system.
Sound system's pretty booming. Burmeister. The speaker grills look amazing. My favorite one is right up here.
Oh, I like the square ones on the dash.
Well, that's pretty cool too. And speaking of the dash, driving this thing on the highway is actually fairly loud. There's a lot of wind noise because this thing is a tank. But it's still quieter than a Jeep Wrangler, which is exactly what I would hope for when you spend this much money.
We drove the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and I felt way better than everyone driving in that. I felt about 20% as better than everyone in this car than I did in that one.
That is a good number. I do agree. I do feel better than people right now in this.
But like 20%, if you do the math, how much a Rolls-Royce Cullinan costs compared to this, it's pretty much exact.
Yeah, and I can at least see my turn signals in this while I drive, and I couldn't even do that in the Cullinan.
I do love seeing the turn signals. I forgot to mention that earlier. That's
but I
so
mentioned
cool.
it now, so there you go.
Yes.
Let's get to the price. This is the G-Wagon, starts at $134,000.
Canadian.
This one is obviously optioned out to quite a bit more, $157,740.
I feel like that's fair for what this is.
This is the most expensive SUV that Mercedes makes.
But you know what's weird? The upgrade from G550 to G63 isn't even that much more.
I know, I saw that. That's why I said if I was gonna buy one of these,
Yeah.
G63, like you go full out. You might as well.
And if you're buying one, 2019 is the way to go. I hate all Mercedes that don't have at least this interior. Like, absolutely hate.
I would love an old G-Wagon with nothing in it. Nothing.
But if it was that tablet C-Class style, no.
All right, fair enough.
It's got to be really fast for that. So final question.
What's that?
5 G-Wagons or a Cullinan?
One Cullinan, please.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Check out our patreon.com/TheStraightPipes for early access to videos and join our YouTube membership.
And don't forget about the Vincero watch sale. Last one of the year.
Happy New Year, guys.
We wish you a happy new year. We had a great season 2, I guess.
Yeah, season 2. We had a great year. We had some awesome cars this year. Thanks for subscribing.
I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. This is a subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.